kept on going because, you know, success leaves clues. And once you find something that works, you know, like our mentor says, don't get bored with it, get paid with it. So we just kept going.
Yeah. It's really gratifying helping others become successful and helping them scale their businesses. So, you know, that's mainly what we focus on now. We always like to say, you know, we change lives for a living. Like, that's our job. We change lives for a living. So it's our duty to serve others at the highest level and get them to the level that we're at.
You know, I want everybody listening, like, honestly, like, because there might be some people that are killing it right now. There might be some people that are just getting started. Yeah. Right. And I want them to know, like, yo, you can really do this, and it's actually not as hard as you might think. Yeah. Right.
Oh, I don't want to bother my list that much. I don't want to send off a text blast once a week because I feel like I'm annoying.
Yeah.
No,
that's a big one.
Do not do that. Like, you are doing yourself a disservice and you're doing your customer a disservice by not marketing to them more, because your products are making their lives exponentially better.
And we have our own strategies that we've kind of developed over the years that honestly, like, nobody's doing this. Like,
help you get rich from anywhere.
Like, facts, bro. Yeah. Like, and I'm telling you, like, I've looked around for the things that we're teaching, and no one's doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that anyone who's interested in building their list and growing their business and having longevity in their business will be blown away by this experience.
All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Listen, according to a survey by Statista, there were 4.57 billion active internet users at the end of 2019, representing 59% of the total population on Earth. Furthermore, studies have found that digital marketing tactics such as SEO and content marketing can be up to 8 times more cost-effective than traditional methods like print advertising and direct mailing. This means that businesses can reach more people for less money, ultimately helping them increase their customer base and boost sales online or just sales in general. Our next guest teaches online entrepreneurs how to use digital marketing to make more sales, discover new ways to monetize, and add next level automation to their business so they can work smarter, not harder. I got Steven and Steven in the building. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
My guys, Rich from anywhere.
Yes.
In the building. You know, I'm excited about this interview because there's a lot of people who have great products and services, you know, but because they don't understand what you guys provide, they don't understand how to market, they don't understand how to get eyes on their products and services, they are suffering. They're trying to figure out, you know, their next move, how to get to the next level. And so you guys have created something that's so needed in our community, in the entrepreneurship community. But before we go there, for those who don't know, you know, if you guys could introduce yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So my name's Steven Blackburn. I know I'm the co-founder of Rich from Anywhere, and you know, we just two guys that were music artists, and that's kind of how we even got into marketing. Was actually we were music artists, and we found that we had fans, and we were kind of creating a buzz, and things were going pretty good, but we were making like no money, right? We were like the typical starving artist, not making any money at all, and we got families and we got things to pay for, so that couldn't, you know, happen. So we basically, what we did was we actually started an e-commerce business. And we actually just started the e-commerce business just to fund our music career. So we can fund like photo shoots and video shoots and stuff like that. And then we ended up getting into e-commerce and like figured out that we were actually pretty good at it. Ended up doing about $250,000 in sales in about 7 months in our first e-com store. And we were like, wait a minute, bro. Like,
that's crazy.
We might be actually good at this.
Yeah.
So we kind of kept on going, because, you know, success leaves clues. And once you find something that works, you know, like our mentor says, don't get bored with it, get paid with it. So we just kept going.
Yeah.
And here we are, like 6, 7, I don't even know, 8 years later, man. And now we're helping like thousands of businesses do the same thing.
Wow.
So
wow.
yeah, man.
Wow. And so after the success, y'all put the mic down. Y'all say, you know what?
Well, you know what? It's crazy because for all my artists out there that are so-called retired, you don't ever want to say you retired. You know what I'm saying? We still got the itch, but you know, it's really gratifying helping others become successful and helping them scale their businesses. So, you know, that's mainly what we focus on now. We always like to say, you know, we change lives for a living. Like, that's our job. We change lives for a living. So it's our duty to serve others at the highest level and get them to the level that we're at.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Steven at RFA. Look, there's one thing that we've seen that all successful companies that we know are doing, and that one thing is that they are growing their list off of social media, right? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Those are all great, but what happens if those accounts shut you down? All your audience disappears overnight, and that is not good for business. So what you want to do is be transferring all those audiences and taking them onto your own list. Names, emails, phone numbers, right? Now you can market to them anytime you want to, and it's security for your business because you own your list. You don't rent it to these social media platforms, right? And we have an event coming up really soon called the Grow Your List Challenge. It's a 3-day live event, virtual on Zoom, and we're gonna be teaching you guys all the tips, tricks, secrets that we've learned about growing our list. We're gonna teach it to you in 3 days. Look, you're gonna learn more about marketing in 3 days than you've learned in the past 3 years. And we actually have a money-back guarantee to prove it to you, all right? So click the link in the description below. We hope to see you at the next challenge. And now back to the video that you were watching.
I love that. And then, you know, you said success leaves clues, right? And you know, you guys have had the opportunity to work with businesses that are making millions, you know, of dollars in sales. What would you say is the common denominator for businesses doing that type of scale?
So what I would say, like, because yes, we do work with a lot of companies that are generating over $1 million a year. The one common denominator between all of those businesses is that they're all growing their list. Okay, they're all building their list with emails and phone numbers. It's crazy the amount of people that we see on social media on a daily basis that have millions and millions of followers, right? Like, but they're not monetizing their list, right? And the reason why is because they don't have a list, right? They're relying on Instagram and TikTok for all those followers. But what happens if those companies shut you down? What happens if your Instagram account gets hacked? What happens if you no longer can access your TikTok account? Then all of those fans that you were relying on contacting via the DM, you no longer have contact with them anymore, and now you're stuck. So the common denominator is this, right? You have to focus on growing your list outside of those platforms so that you can market to them with promotions anytime you go live, anytime you have a sale, anytime that you, regardless of anything that you're doing, you want to be able to have the ability and the control to promote to them at will and not be at the will of Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or any of those platforms.
100%. Yeah. Collecting data is like the thing that every business should be focusing on, period. Like, and this stat came out a couple years ago, like data is now the most valuable resource in the world. It passed up oil. Right. So that's why you see all these, you know, emerging companies and all these data companies are just billions and trillions of dollars, right? It's, that's the most powerful thing that you can do. So as a business owner, you've got to start collecting your data. Because like he said, if you're taking all this information or you're spending all this time and energy building up your Facebook page, and then Facebook just slams the gavel on you one day and just or your Facebook account gets hacked. Like, how many people out there right now have gotten their Instagram hacked or their TikTok shut down? Like, if you don't have tangible lists, like, how are you going to reach your customers? Your business is not like you're pretty much like you're like a sitting duck. You know what I mean? So you got to focus on all the successful companies we work with. They focus on growing their list and then promoting to that list consistently and monetizing that list.
So this is why we're so passionate about this topic. This actually happened to us a few years back. We were riding high. We had our first 6-figure year, and at that time, we felt we were riding high, making 6 figures. Had our first 6-figure year. We were relying.
Oh wait, let's not downplay 6 figures. A 6-figure year is still
it's
still
good.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's good, but compared to where we're at now,
I'm about to say, I know y'all making M's now, but still, like, you know what I'm saying? 6 figures is still.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure, for sure. So like, we had been doing really well, but one thing that we realized is that we were really reliant on these social media platforms, Facebook in particular. We ended up getting our Facebook account shut down, like our whole business manager, our whole business was shut down. So we no longer had access to all of that data that's so valuable.
Wow.
But the thing is, because we were building our email list and our phone number list, what we were able to do is we were able to create a new account. We were able to take our existing data, plug it back into Facebook on that new account, and now all of a sudden, AI is a big topic right now. The algorithm was able to read all of that information and lead us right back to where we left off, running ads again effectively at the drop of a dime.
Quick little gem, like for everybody who has a list or is building a list, what y'all can do, like what we did in that instance was you can actually take that list, the CSV file, and you can upload that CSV file into Facebook, and you can create what's called a custom audience. Right? And now those custom audience, those are people who rock with your products, who like what you do. Now what you can do is you can actually take that custom audience and you can tell Facebook, hey, go out and find millions of other people who are just like these people, but different people. And that's called a lookalike audience. And we've been scaling with lookalike audiences for years. So if y'all don't take anything from this interview, take that and go run with it right there.
Lookalike audiences are the cheat code.
And you know, one of the things that makes so much sense is, like, even if I take it back to like MySpace days, right? When people were popping on MySpace, then, you know, MySpace died. Some of the people that were popping then are nowhere to be found. Then they moved to Twitter.
There you go.
And they started popping, and a new set of people started popping on Twitter. And then when Twitter, you know, wasn't the hot spot to go anymore, when the club moved to Instagram, yo, some of the people that were like quote unquote influencers on Twitter, nowhere to be found. And then now we have this, you know, Instagram is still rocking, if you will, and Facebook, but you know, like you said, if that dies, and then you don't have a presence, you're not omnipresent, then now you get taken over by TikTok or taken over by whatever the case may be, and then now literally your business is determined, based on, based on what Instagram is focused on, right? Because like for me, I have, close to a quarter, 248,000, let's say, followers on Instagram. But I already know Instagram not showing my stuff to all of those people, right? They showing them to like 2,000 people.
Yep.
And then let me, I'll figure out the rest. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that there's a thing to be said about building a list. But I kind of feel like the majority of the people who are starting businesses don't even know how to build a following on Instagram or how to build a following on any platform. And so what is why is it important that any business, why do they need an online presence?
Oh man, I mean, at the end of the day, like if you have a business and you have products that you want to promote, you got to go where people are.
Yeah.
And in 2023 and moving forward, everyone and their mom and their cousin, and everybody is online, right?
Facts, yeah.
More importantly, they're on their phone.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I don't know where you guys live, but in Florida, like people are connected to their phone. Like it's like a part of their hand at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they never leave.
Yeah.
So if we know that, then why wouldn't we as business owners be doing everything in our capability to be getting our products and services on people's phones constantly, right? Yeah. So I mean, the reason why you should be online is like everyone's there.
Everyone is there, and you know what's crazy is a lot of times just being online isn't enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just relying on being on Instagram or being on Facebook or being on TikTok, that's not enough, right? Yeah. Sometimes you gotta kind of put things into hyperdrive, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where like ads come into play. Yeah. And here's the thing, like just because you have a large following does not mean that you're making money.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It doesn't mean that you are successful.
Yeah.
We had an Instagram account that had about 500 followers, but yet we were making 6 figures a year. The reason why is because we know these ad strategies that allow people to come into our world. We indoctrinate them, and then we sell them our services because everyone needs advertising.
But more importantly than that, like we're not so much focused on building followers. Yeah. We're focused on building community, right? Yeah. And that's another common denominator of every successful businesses that we've worked with is that they are building a community of a tribe of people that just rock with them. Yeah. Right. And, I want everybody listening, like, honestly, like, because there might be some people that are killing it right now. There might be some people that are just getting started. Yeah. Right. And I want them to know, like, yo, you can really do this. And it's actually not as hard as you you might think.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever heard of like the 1,000 true fan rule?
No.
You never heard this before? Dude, this right here like completely blew me away when I first heard it, right? It changed my perspective about business in general, right? And the reason why is, well, I'll get into why in a second, but the 1,000 true fan rule, it basically goes like this. If you can get 1,000 true fans to rock with you, right? That means like these are 1,000 true fans. Like these are people who just love your stuff. They buy everything that you put out, and they're just die hard. You can get 1,000 people to spend $100 with you over the course of a year. You just made $100,000 a year.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I want everybody to marinate on that for a second, because that's like you said earlier, like 6 figures is nothing to sneeze at, bro. Like that's, and that's a lot of people's like goals when they first get in. Like everybody's got this dream of like, I want to make 6 figures. Yep. But then when they get out here and they start stepping into it, and they're like, well, wait, like how the heck am I going to actually do that though? You know what I'm saying? Like how am I going to make us like $100,000? Yeah. And it feels like a mystery. Yeah. And when things feel like a mystery, they feel far out of reach. And when things feel out of reach, you don't want to do the things that are necessary to run that business. And when you don't do the things, you don't get the result. And when you don't get the result, it's a downward spiral. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So the reason why I love this so much is because what this does is it turns mystery into math. Right? Yeah. So being successful is not a mystery. It's just a math problem. Yeah. Right? If you can get 1,000 true fans to rock with you, by the way, let me back up for a second. Going on the first thing that you said. 1,000 people, that's not really a lot of people. Right? You just said earlier, there's how many? 4 billion people? Yep. Over 4 billion people online, active users, right? Yeah. Like, tell me right now, like, you guys think that y'all can find like 1,000 people to rock with you?
Billion?
I mean,
it's
come
so
on,
easy.
like seriously, 1,000 people, it's not really that many people, right? And $100 a year, that's really not a lot of money either, right? Yeah. If you
that's like charging them $10 a month.
Facts.
It's actually $8.33 a month, right? Like I bought Starbucks coffee that's more expensive than that. You know what I mean? So like what I really want everybody to understand is that when you break that formula down, 1,000 people, it's not really a lot of people. Yeah. $100 a year, it's not really a lot of money. Yeah. But when you put those two things together, it creates an extraordinary result, right? So everybody can create this extraordinary result by just doing ordinary things consistently.
No, that's a bar. I love that. And what would y'all say is the favorite social media platform, right? Like what's your favorite?
So that's a really good question, man, because every platform has like its certain benefits, you know. For us, Facebook has been like our wheelhouse. And the reason why isn't necessarily the organic piece of Facebook where you're just simply posting, it's the ads. And, you know, going back to the 1,000 true fans rule that we just talked about, I know for some of y'all that 1,000 people might seem like a lot, but when you have a certain strategy that you can implement, it becomes a lot easier. So if we got time, like, can we break down like how to actually get to those 1,000 true fans? Can we break it down?
Because that was actually one of my questions, because you know a lot of my insiders who watch the show are might work a 9 to 5, high earners, and they said they might be new. Right, to this online game. So if someone like you and I, I could, 1,000 subscribers, that's nothing. Like that's easy work, right? But somebody who may be watching might be like, oh, they keep saying stuff is easy, but they've been doing it, right? And so I want to definitely give them some tangibles ways that they can actually do it.
Yes, this is so this is kind of like a master class for those of you all that want to learn how to start running ads. So pay attention to this, all right? So first thing you have to understand, because we're going to show you like how to run Facebook ads, okay? So first thing you have to understand is what a Facebook pixel is, okay? A Facebook pixel tracks the actions that people perform on your website. So for instance, let's say you got 1,000 people that come to your website. If you do not have the Facebook pixel on your website, then the only thing that's going to happen is these 1,000 people are going to come to your website and leave, but you're not going to be able to track any of that data, all right? And that data is extremely important. However, if you have the pixel installed on your website, what's going to happen is the Facebook pixel is going to track all those actions. So if 1,000 people add a product to cart, the pixel is going to track those 1,000 actions. That data is extremely valuable because I know y'all listening can relate. You ever been to a website before and you go to the website, you're kind of shopping around, the baby starts crying or the kids get in a fight or something, you end up leaving the website and then all of a sudden you forget that you were even shopping on that website. Then you go back online the next day and you see their ads popping up everywhere. Kind of like it's just following you, right? You see that? Yeah. What these companies are doing is they're retargeting you.
And I thought that was the power of my mind. I thought it was manifesting it.
So they're retargeting you. Yeah. The biggest companies in the world are doing that, and the reason why is because they have your information. They've tracked your data via the Facebook pixel. Okay? So essentially, all of you all out there that have a website, you can do the same thing. You can start retargeting individuals as well through something we call a funnel. Okay? So if you know what a funnel looks like, a funnel is like a V-shaped thing, right? It's a V-shaped thing. And any marketer in the world knows this funnel strategy, all right? So inside of this funnel, notice how it starts out like really, really wide, and then it gets more and more narrow as it comes down, right? So every time that we're marketing initially, and this goes for anyone out there, anytime you're marketing initially, you want to get people into the top of the funnel, which is it's the widest part of the funnel, okay? Now, in order to do that, you have to run an ad using interest-based targeting, okay? You use interest-based targeting, and your whole goal at the top of the funnel is to drive as much traffic in as possible. It doesn't really matter who it is. The whole goal is to just drive an influx of traffic in to your pixeled website, okay? To your pixeled website. Or, let me let you in on another, Jim. You said you had 248,000 followers on IG. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of a Facebook pixel or not, but you're sitting on gold that you didn't even know that you had, you know? Because the pixel is attached to your Instagram account as well.
Natively, like right when you opened up your Instagram account, the pixel was already there.
It's already there.
Yeah.
So what's happening, excuse me, so what's happening is anyone that interacts with your Instagram, right? DM, all right, whether they DM you, whether they comment, whether they follow you, whatever it is, the pixel is tracking that. So for those of y'all out here listening, all of y'all that have an Instagram account have access to the pixel and all that data on the pixel.
Wow.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now. And it's literally like gold that there's so many of our clients and students come to us that have this gold, like, and it's just collecting dust. It's just sitting there.
And so I already have a pixel.
Yep.
For everybody who's ever interacted with me.
Yep.
On my Instagram already.
Yep.
And so if I do a lookalike off of that, it's gonna find people just like the people who've interacted with
And here's where I want you to understand why this is so powerful. So y'all can look this up too if you want to. Facebook has 52,000 data points on every single profile.
52,000.
52,000. So think about that for a second. Facebook, like, and this is like no lie, like Facebook knows more about you than you know about you. Like if you ask me, like I don't even know 52 things about myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Facebook knows 52,000 data points on every single person, right?
Wow.
So when we say you can go out and you can create a custom audience and then create a lookalike audience, like when I say it's extremely accurate. It's actually kind of terrifying how accurate it is, right? Like from a consumer standpoint, it's terrifying, but from a business standpoint, it's like absolute gold.
It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. So going back to the funnel, right? You're at the top of the funnel. You're driving as much traffic in as possible just to collect their data at the top of the funnel, okay? That's really the whole objective at the top of the funnel, to turn strangers into someone who's somewhat interested in your brand. Whole goal at the top of the funnel. Once they've interacted with your brand, then because they're pixeled, you can bring them to the middle of the funnel. The middle of the funnel is where you retarget. So all you're doing at the middle of the funnel is running ads towards the people who already express interest in your brand, right? Retargeting is essentially where your conversions are going to happen. That's where people are going to start to buy from you, because when you're retargeting, you're turning a casual watcher of your brand into an actual buyer, right? You're turning them into a buyer, someone who would consider buying from you, because here's a stat for you. It takes at least 7 touch points for someone to actually buy from you. 7 touch points, meaning that if I see your ad one time, okay, cool. If I see it 2 times, okay,
whatever.
3 times, whatever. But the more that I continue to see your ad, the more I become indoctrinated with it. And eventually I'm going to click on that link. Then after I click on that link, if I see that ad again, then eventually, if it's something I really want, I'm going to purchase, right?
And you can stop right there, because like the majority of businesses stop there, right? Like they stop at the top of the funnel. How many of y'all listening right now will like promote and market to somebody, and if they don't buy the first time, you're like,
who's next?
I guess it ain't for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
that's not how it works. Like psychologically, people need more like touch points, right?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why. Have you guys ever noticed like when you're listening to the radio, like you hear the same commercial over and over, or when you watch TV, you see the same commercial over and over and over. Like they're not doing that to just spend money for no reason. They know that on average it takes 7 to maybe even up to 11 touch points for people to make that buying decision.
Wow.
And there's been people that have gotten on the phone with us after being in our funnel for a certain amount of time where they're like almost like starstruck. They're like they're almost like we're like superstars, right? And then people even tell me too, like, oh my, I saw your ad so many times. Like they'll start to relate it to like a religious or a spiritual experience, right? They're like, it's God telling me I needed to talk to you.
That's
Like,
what I thought. I thought I was manifesting those. I was like, I was just thinking about.
Yeah, man.
Know,
and they'll like
Foreman Grill.
Right. And like I want to encourage all y'all out there that are business owners, like run that play, because that can turn someone who's a casual listener or a casual just watcher of your brand into someone who can become a raving fan. Like we've literally gotten on Zoom calls and people scream like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. Like literally because of the power of retargeting, right? So once you learn that strategy and you really get it down, you can make a whole lot of money.
And you know, I think that one of the, and maybe you guys can help with this, like how do you change the mindset though of the person who is starting out the business to just jump into ads, or when is the right time to jump into ads? Because I feel like I'm, I'm a mentor in this space as well, and so people, in some of my mentorships, people are, a lot of the small business owners are like hesitant to spend money on ads. Like a lot of it, for a lot of them, it's not even in their thought process because somehow they've been convinced that organic is the way. Like, I'm going to build this organically when ads is like a cheat code. So like, how do you get somebody in the mindset to let them know that investing in ads, like that's really the cheat code for any business that you have? Well,
I really think it comes down to understanding that, like, even if you're new, first of all, if you're new and you haven't ever ran ads before, I will definitely say, like, don't try to just do it by yourself. Like, get coached. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's really why we have mentorship programs, is to pass on information that we've spent millions of dollars testing. Yeah. So you don't have to spend all that money testing it. We already have, right? Yeah. But even it's not for us. Like, go to other coaches. It doesn't matter. Get coached, because one part of the story that I left out on our first story, or our first e-commerce store, was we first started our e-commerce store and we started running ads by ourselves, just watching YouTube videos. And we spent 5 racks in Facebook ads and didn't make one sale. Wow. Not even one. Wow. Like, it was a nightmare, right? Wow. And we didn't have money at the time, so it was kind of a big deal. So we finally hit that wall, and we're like, all right, well, I'm not doing that again. Like, clearly that didn't work. Yep. So we finally chucked it up and just said, all right, I'm going to get a mentor. So we invested into a mentor, and dude, I'll never forget this ever in my life, because we paid this mentor to teach us the right way to do it. And we got the strategy. We went home that night and like ran the play that night, right? And we went to sleep, and literally by the time I woke up in the morning, I had sales on my phone by the time I woke up in the morning. Wow. So what I realized at that point, when it comes to online business, dude, when it comes to like being successful online, what I realized at that point is that it has nothing to do with time. It has everything to do with your strategy. Because we had just spent 3 months banging our head against a laptop and spent 5 racks and didn't make one sale. Right. And then this dude comes in, teaches us how to do it differently. Right. And we made a sale within 8 hours. Wow. Right? Yeah. And these are the types of things that are happening all the time. So I say all that to say, get coached first, like learn the right way to do it. Don't just spend your money and just throw money at Mark Zuckerberg. He got plenty of money.
He got plenty of money.
You know what I mean?
And just to add to that, for those of y'all listening right now, what y'all need to understand, what everyone needs to understand is that, a lot of times we put like this disbelief on ads, like, oh, ads don't work, or ads are too complicated, or I can't do ads, like I don't know how to do it, right? Like, I want y'all to understand that it is extremely possible to do it. Like, we have students that are so non-tech savvy, barely know how to turn on a computer, that have come in under our tutelage and started running the plays on ads, and ran it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like literally, like we have a student who came to us doing $900 a month, and within, I want to say 5 months, she was up to $52,000 a month.
Wow.
And she was not tech savvy at all. Okay.
But what would you attribute to that level of growth? Did she change her product or service?
No, it's action taking.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Like all the students that we have that are our most successful students are the action takers. Like
Yeah.
they're crazy with it, right?
Yeah.
They take our plays and they run them, right? And anyone who's, again, going back to your original question, what would I say to someone trying to get them into ads? I would say the only thing that would really stop people from getting ads is like fear of getting in and losing money. What you need to understand about ads is that you control the throttle completely. Right? It's not like traditional marketing where you put up money and you have a billboard up. Dude, it's up. Right? It's up for a month or 3 months, regardless if it's working or not.
Yeah.
With a Facebook ad, you can put it up, and we have formulas where it's like within 3 days, we're gonna know if that ad's gonna perform or not.
Yep.
So we control the throttle, and we can turn things off or scale them up as quickly or as fast as we want to. So it's just like understanding that you have full control. You know what I mean? But again, it always comes back down to having a process and a formula and kind of knowing what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, I love the aspect of ads. I mean, because I'll be honest, I was one of those people where I was just like, all right, I'm gonna get it from the mud, right? Like, I'm a hustler. I'm gonna hustle. I'm gonna put my product or service in front of as much people as possible. I'm gonna do such a good job doing that those customers are gonna tell other customers, like really old school word of mouth, type of thought process, right? Until I was introduced to ads, and I realized that ads is an accelerator, right?
Is, man.
Instead of like wishing and hoping that somebody is gonna like this is my audience. I hope my audience, because that person I'm assuming is connected to other people like them, right? Which is true, right? And this is from my banking days. As a banker, they're like, listen, you want to treat your customer right, because your customer has maybe 10 people that are just like them, and they can refer those people to you. Well, instead of having to pray and hope that that the onus, right, I'm putting the responsibility on the customer, that I'm gonna do such a good job that the customer is going to spread the word to their friends.
Facts.
I could just find. I could do the legwork with ads, and I could find a person that's just like them and then market to them with the same characteristics.
Exactly.
So that's why, like, for me, just like a no-brainer, if you will.
Well, to like go back to your point, like ads are only going to amplify what you already are doing, right? So that's why I say it's really like your like mentality of like, I'm going to do my best work and get word of mouth. That's the mentality that everyone should have, right? Give value. The only reason the ads work for us is because we actually do good work. You know what I mean? So ads are
not going to replace a bad product.
It's not going to replace a bad product. If anything, it's going to let people know, more people know that you have a bad product.
And that's another common mistake that people make is not having the best product or service, right? And then they blame it on the ads, right?
Yeah.
You can have the best ads in the world, but if your product is garbage, it don't matter. You just promoting a garbage product that's gonna get nothing but burn a hole in your pocket.
Right.
Yep. Yep. So it's very important. It's a combination, right? Make sure you have a good product or service first, right? Make sure the foundation is laid. Make sure you're able to collect phone numbers and emails, right? Utilizing something that we call a lead magnet, right? You want to make sure that you have that, because once you have that, then you're ready to start running these ads when everything is set up on the back end and it flows so seamlessly. We see it all the time with our students. They do extremely well once they have the process set up.
Yeah, and you guys have an experience, a 5-day challenge coming up where you're gonna help people build their list, right? Who is this experience for?
I mean, it's actually a 3-day challenge.
Okay, 3 days.
But like, we, I would say honestly that this event that we do is honestly for anyone. Like, and I know that sounds crazy, but the thing about it is there's no business in the world that can't benefit from building a quality list and promoting to that list, right? So what we do is, and we do these trainings periodically where we just basically go live and we teach people for 3 days, like all of our strategies on how to grow lists, like all the psychological like stuff that happens, like the psychological like things that are happening to make people actually opt into your offer. Because there's a lot of people who have opt-in or different offers and stuff, but they're not getting any people to opt in,
Right.
because they don't understand the psychological part of what needs to happen, right? So we start teaching all the psychological parts. We teach all the organic strategies. We start going into paid strategies to blow it up. And then it's not, that's still not enough though, right? Because now once you got the list, you got to learn how to make money from the list. So we start going into monetization strategies. And I mean, people are like having crazy results.
Yeah,
man.
like
it's kind of nuts.
When I say people are mind blown when they rock with us during this experience, they really are, because it's not like your typical like training, right? Like we're in the trenches with you. Like we are actually hands-on with you, making sure that every single day you are getting things done so that when you leave the challenge, you can actually go out and make money. Like literally everything is built. Your systems are built. You will have your system built when you jump into our training. So there's really no reason not to. And it doesn't matter what business you're in either, right? Like,
and I think that's probably one of the reasons that like we've like grown the community that we've grown is because of that hand holding kind of approach that we have to stuff. And there's a lot of marketers, a lot of people out there that just want to like take your money and then just give you some course or then not even talk to you. And there's no, like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like there's no hand holding. There's no, like when we do these challenges, dude, we're like you said, we're in the trenches with you. And we got that no man left behind type of thing where it's like, yo, you like, nah, you're going to get this done. Right. Before you leave this challenge. And I think people appreciate that.
They appreciate it, number one, but number two, that's why a lot of our students have been successful. You know, like the lady we talked about who went from 900 to 53K. It's because of the fact that she had real guidance.
Yeah. And by the way, too, like everything we're saying, check receipts, right? Like go to richfromanywhere.com, check the receipts. I think you should do that for anybody who's up here talking. Like go and check these things. Like these aren't just things that just sound cool to say. Like,
make sure we're not lying to you.
Exactly.
Make sure.
Exactly. You know?
And so, you know, that concept, Rich from Anywhere, where'd that come from?
Man, that was like, it's funny because we actually came up with that brand when we were like in a terrible situation. Like we were in a really beat up small little apartment that had like ants and roaches, and it was like nasty, man. Like, and we had this like, and we were actually both working jobs that we hated at the time, but we had this like passion for digital marketing. And by the way, at this point, like digital marketing and e-commerce and all this stuff wasn't really like popping like it is now. Like it's like 7, 8 years ago, something like that. It wasn't really, it was like the wild, wild west back then. You know what I mean? Like everything was a scam. It felt like, but we just loved it, man. We just loved the digital marketing side of it. And it's the concept of being able to work from anywhere, man. Being able to make money from anywhere and not be tied to one particular place to go and make money. You know what I mean? And that was our mindset at the time. Was like I used to be a server and a bartender. So the only time I could make money is when I got in my car and I drove to this one establishment, and that's the only place I could make money. Right. And now fast forward like today, and you can understand this too. Like the thought of that is just crazy.
It's repulsive. It makes me want to vomit, honestly.
You know, like it is.
But to
crazy.
go off of what you said, like it brought me back to something. When we created that name, Rich from Anywhere, we really were in a bad space, but mentally we were in a great space. And, you know, I know you're big on abundance and manifestation. So are we. We're big into like the law of attraction and thoughts become things. And one of the craziest things, man, one of the things we used to do in this beat up apartment.
Oh, you gonna tell them this?
We gonna go there. We gonna go there. We used to sit down, regardless of the circumstance. We used to sit down and we used to role play being multimillionaires and being like literally, like I kid you not, like in the house, like, yo, let's do it for like a couple hours, right? And we would literally have conversations like, yo, what time you picking up the jet? Or yo, I just transferred 50K over to your bank account. Yo, we just had a 6-figure day, you know? Like we literally used to do that, but we used to not only just say these things, but the key to manifestation is not only saying it, but also feeling it as well, and then taking the action. So we started doing that, and here we are today, striving towards even more goals. But you know, I would consider ourselves successful. But it all starts with the mindset, though. You know,
and y'all
so
can do
crazy.
that too, and y'all can do that too. Like anyone watching can do that too. Because I'm telling you, like when you first start doing it, by the way, if y'all take our advice and y'all want to start, you know, doing the things that we were doing, you're gonna like feel like a tennis match at first, right? Because we don't come from money. Like I don't come from money at all, right? So Like when we were having conversations about transferring $500,000 into an account and all, like my subconscious was like, bro, you are a bold-faced liar. You know what I mean? Like, but like my conscious mind had to like keep going. So there's this tennis match, right? So when you guys start doing it, just understand that tennis match is completely normal, and just keep going, right? Because eventually the subconscious mind, it only changes with repetition. Right? Like you got to just keep going, and eventually your subconscious won't know the difference anymore. And your life will be completely different.
And so if you could give an online business like one piece of advice, what would that be?
I would say, honestly, like if I could give them one piece of advice, it would be to start focusing on pulling those people off of your social media platforms into an actual tangible list that you can then use to promote, right? And that's if you're a business that, you know, already has a following. If you're a business that's already kind of making moves organically, I would highly recommend that, because it's crazy. Like we have friends of ours that have over 1 million followers on TikTok, right? And they're not monetizing at all. They don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
And what's the key to that though, right? Because again, I want to make sure that, you know, anybody watching who is like interested, right? Like they're like, you know what? I want to grow my list.
Yeah.
I'm going to run ads. Like all this stuff sounds good.
Right.
Like what's that?
You want the sauce.
I want the sauce.
You want the sauce.
I want the sauce.
Well, listen, like I'll tell you, man, look, like when it comes to building a list, what you got to understand is when you're trying to collect information from people, the best way for you to collect information from people is by giving away something for free in exchange.
Got it.
Right? And that's what we, in the digital space, we call it a lead magnet. Right? So you want, and by the way, it's in the digital space, but if you look around, like there's examples of lead magnets everywhere, right? Actually, like one that we use a lot is there's a gas station called Wawa. You ever heard of Wawa? Right?
Love Wawa.
Like,
Wawa's the jam, bro.
I love Wawa.
It's not a gas station.
They tuna melt.
Yo, you know what I mean?
With some honey mustard.
This is what I'm saying, bro. This is a perfect example, right? Because what Wawa does, I realized this. I was getting gas at Wawa one day, and I looked over and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Like they give free air here.
Yeah.
They're giving free air. No other gas station gives free air for your tires. Right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, that's a lead magnet, right? Because how many times will people go in to the Wawa just to get some free air, and then they get done pumping up their tires, they're done. Now they're looking like, well, I am kind of thirsty though. Like, let me go ahead and get something to drink, and then you talking about
how'd you find out about the tuna melt? What brought you into Wawa?
Probably
the gas, right?
Gas, air, like so that's a lead magnet right there. Now, like, so I want you to wrap your mind around the psychology of this, right? I went in there, I got some free air. I wasn't thinking about getting anything else, but I was in the parking lot, so I ended up going in. Now I go in, and it's like this whole experience, right? That's not a gas station, bro. Like that's like, you know what I mean? So now when I had that experience, next time I'm driving down the road and it's time for me to get gas, where am I gonna go?
Go to Wawa.
And it's all because of free air, right? Like another example would be at the mall, like when you're at the food court. What you see people coming up to you with, right?
Yo, they come up to you with the little samples.
The little sticks with chicken
like,
and all this crazy stuff, right? Like, same thing, because they understand I have to give something away for free in order to get the information, right? So what you want to do is, if you want to start building your list, you want to create a lead magnet for your customers to opt in, right? Now, the trick to creating because anyone can try to create a lead magnet, but it might be a dud. The trick to creating a lead magnet that works is you have to create an irresistible offer for people. You have to be giving something away that is like truly valuable for your customers. All right. Now, the only way that you can create something that's irresistible is by doing the next step is understanding your customers better than they even know themselves. So you have to understand what their pain points are, what their pleasure points are, what they desire, what they don't want, what their objections are. And if you guys, everyone listening right now, if you own a business, all you're doing is solving problems. That's all business is.
That's it.
You're solving problems. So just figure out what your customers' problems are, create a solution for it, and the floodgates are going to open, period. And come holler at us when it works, because it works.
And for instance, like I'm going to give y'all a gem. For those of y'all that have online boutiques, a giveaway play y'all can run is free clothes for a year.
Free clothes for a year.
Free clothes for a year, right? Think about that, right? Free clothes for a year. In a customer's opinion, if they see that headline, free clothes for a year, oh, I'm in. What do I have to do,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna give you my arm and my arm and my leg to get that free product, right? So like people are going to opt in. Now, on the back end, you as the owner of the brand, it's all about wording, and it's not about like tricks and stuff like that. But free clothes for a year could mean once a month they get a free outfit. Right? But again, it's all about the psychology and the way that you word these things that get more people in. I'll take 12 free outfits for the year, but I'm not going to word it like 12 free outfits for the year. I'm going to say free clothes for a year because that's going to drive in the most traffic organically.
And like you said, free clothes for a year gets the most traffic to the top of the funnel.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right? And then now from the top of the funnel, you start weeding out or figuring out who's gonna make it to the middle or the bottom of the funnel.
Right, and that's a good point.
You smart.
You smart. You loyal. So you keep coming down. So the funnel, like top of funnel, I want everybody to really wrap their mind around this. Top of funnel, the whole goal is to turn strangers into people who are aware of your brand. Now you start to retarget people. You turn people who are aware of your brand into customers at the middle of the funnel. Now the smart brands, they keep going. Right now. What you want to do is you want to start bringing people down to the bottom of the funnel. All right. Now at the bottom of the funnel, this is where you turn customers and you turn them into repeat customers. Right. And there's strategies that you can set up on Facebook to help you do all that stuff. Right.
Yeah. And
it's crazy.
So bottom of the funnel, y'all. Remember we talked about 1,000 true fans in the beginning of this. Bottom of the funnel is where you create those 1,000 true fans, those raving fans, those fans that are going to buy from you over and over again, spend over $100 with you throughout the course of the year. Bottom of the funnel is the key to your 6-figure or 7-figure year.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then so building a list, right? So I know your challenge is about building that list.
Yeah.
And there's always been this, I guess nowadays, most people are on their phones, and you have the distinction between email lists or text message. If you could choose a list to build, which one would it be and why?
Oh gosh. SMS
Phone
all
list.
day, phone all day.
Okay.
And the reason why is because think about it, right? Like my email right now, my personal email gets probably 1,000 emails a day. I'm not opening that.
Right.
However, my phone is attached to my hip, right? Anytime I get a notification, anytime my phone vibrates, I'm looking at it to see who contacted me. So it's crazy because when you look at SMS marketing, you're going to get very, very high open rates with SMS. Like open rates,
Almost 100%.
Almost 100%.
Like you think about it,
99%.
if someone texts you like now, like you might not look at it now, but 5 minutes from like you're gonna look at it.
You're gonna check it out.
100%, yeah.
Right? And
It's almost to the point where if I see a text message, like I don't even like to see the notification that I got a text message.
Yeah.
So I'll be like trying to go through them so I can clear it out. So,
Yeah.
so I don't need a notification. Like it's weird.
Well, if you look at do what the big brands are doing, right? So I'd encourage all of y'all to opt into whoever your favorite brands are, opt into their email list and their SMS list and see which one they're doing more.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that the best brands are doing SMS marketing more. I'm subscribed to Fashion Nova, and the reason why is because I'm a student of the game. We study these big brands to see what they're doing so we can share it with our students in layman's terms.
You like the jeans?
I mean, bruh. I mean, Fashion Nova do got some. Got some right.
I'm a big guy, so I don't know if you got my size.
But honestly, like, just do what the big brands are doing. Opt into their SMS list and see the way that they're marketing to you and how often. Because another common misconception that people always tell us is, oh, I don't want to bother my list that much. I don't want to send off a text blast once a week because I feel like I'm annoying. No,
that's a big one.
Do not do that. Like, you are doing yourself a disservice and you're doing your customer a disservice by not marketing to them more because your products are making their lives exponentially better. So once you start thinking about it like that and thinking about it in terms of, wow, if I'm not sending out a text message right now, my customer's life isn't going to get better. Now all of a sudden you start thinking about it a little differently, and you're going to do everything in your anything you can to get more people to see your brand because you're making their lives better. So that's a good way to think about it.
And I like that perspective though too, because it also helps people to understand that if your business is not making somebody's life better, then you should not be in the business.
Facts,
bro. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Because I think that a lot of people get into business for the wrong reasons, right?
Yep.
They're like, look, I'm tired of my 9 to 5, or, you know, I'm scared of the economy, or whatever reasons that they get into it. They're not really thinking about their customer and how, you know, how they're going to add value. They're really thinking about themselves and how this business could potentially, you know, stack their pockets, secure them and their family. And then now, you know, they have this fear of really kind of going out there because they didn't really provide or sit down and solidify what they offer, right? Man. But when you get to that space where you know, like, you know, like I know that my new software, Book Rich, is gonna make people 6-7 figures easily.
You already know it,
right? And so because I know this, like I'm doing webinars every week. I'm banging on the door. I'm like, no, you need this product, and I go to sleep at night very well because I know what this provides, and so having that mindset kind of helps you say, no, I know this thing works. I want to make sure everybody knows it. And in fact, if you know your thing can help people and you're not trying to get it to as many people as possible, then you're not being ethically responsible.
Boom.
Facts, bro.
And I'm telling you, anyone who listens to that, and if y'all adopt that mindset, it's going to be very difficult for you to fail. Because there's so little of the population, there's so little percentage of businesses think that way. Most people get into business just to make money. Because, like, I don't know, like, I think just people don't really understand money, right? Like, if you really want to make money, you got to understand, like, the principles of money, right? And understand that money is literally just a byproduct of value creation.
100%,
That's all it is, right? And the amount of money that you make is directly in proportion to the amount of value you bring to the marketplace. 100%. So stop focusing. If you're right now, if you have a business and you're like struggling to make money, I would say stop focusing on making money completely. Start focusing on creating value for your customers because the money is just going to come automatically.
That's a fact.
Good. That's good. What would what would you say, or how do you handle the transition, right? So, you know, you guys as music artists wanted to transition to, you know, e-commerce, right? And a lot of times, what people do becomes part of their identity. And so it's hard for them to pivot because, you know, they're not doing what they've identified as who they are. Right. And so what was that like? Like, how did y'all successfully pivot?
I'll say this, man, like, as a we were unique music artists in the fact that we had the marketing gene within us. So, you know, if you're an independent artist, you have to go out there and grind and market yourself. So we'd been marketing, you know, we had been marketing, posting on Facebook, doing things like that. When we started being introduced to e-commerce and we learned ads, we happened to still be doing music. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So we decided, we know Facebook ads now. We know them pretty well. We've established a 6-figure brand. And we happened to have an event, right? So we decided to throw this event, this rave in Atlanta. Didn't have a big fan base, by the way. Like, our fan base wasn't huge, but we decided, let's rent out a space, let's throw a rave in Atlanta, and let's do all the marketing via ads. So we marketed for about 2 weeks, right? Spent probably about $100, $200 in ad spend, and we sold out the event.
Wow.
Sold out the whole event. Sold about
just $100, $200 in ads. Wow.
Kid you not, right? To the point where the post that we used, like, there was college kids tagging other college kids talking about, you gonna pull up? Now, let me tell you the key to that, and the key to all ads, okay? It's the creative. It's the visual. It's the video. If your video is lacking, you are not going to make any money. I don't care how good your targeting is. So your visual creative has to be on point, okay? And I would second that by saying, do not use pictures in your ads. Stick with videos, because videos tend to convert better right now, right? And another thing you want to do, here's the big gem. Don't just stick with one video. Split test your videos. Do between 2 and 4 different videos that you want to split test. Because here's the thing, if you only run one ad to one video and that video is a dud, you gotta create a brand new ad and test the next one instead of just split testing them. Facebook's gonna distribute the budget to the visual that's performing the best. So you don't even gotta do nothing. Facebook will do it for you if you split test, and then you can say, okay, this particular video spent $5. These other videos spent $1. This video must be the one that's popping off because Facebook likes it. Let me go ahead and turn off the other ones. Let all the budget
Facebook is
allocate
now
towards
like
that.
Facebook is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you nowadays. Like when we first started, like it wasn't like that. You had to really pay attention to every single creative and turn things off and on. Now the way that the algorithm works, man, you just set your budget, and Facebook honestly knows how to market your stuff better than you do. You know?
And we've dabbled into TikTok ads too, which is also a big one, TikTok ads as well. But I would say like the difference between like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook ads is that with Facebook and IG ads, if it hits, you can let that thing run. Like we have students right now currently that have ads running from 2021.
Wow.
Yeah,
same ad.
Literally, same ad.
Yeah. And so, and I like that you said that you can go between $100 and $200, because I know somebody who's watching may be thinking, well, I don't have ad money.
Right.
But nah, $100, $200.
Right.
In fact, you know, sometimes Facebook won't even let you, you know, put a lot of money into
if it's a new ad account.
If it's a new ad account, right?
Correct,
like they want you to kind of be like tested. You know, what do you say to the people who are like, well, Facebook is dead, like, you know, Facebook is dying? What do you say to those people?
You've been listening to the wrong people.
Facts.
You know, like now Facebook did have a little like situation a couple years ago with the iOS 14, and things were wonky for a little bit. But I'll tell you what, man, like they got it back together. Facebook ads like right now are popping.
Right.
We have students getting over 20x return top of funnel on some of their ads. Like it's definitely working. So just like I would just say, be careful who you pay attention to, because the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, the most expensive mistake people make, is paying attention to the wrong people.
Especially on YouTube University. If you're on YouTube University and you're trying to like extract different videos and piece them together to be able to have an ad strategy, I wouldn't recommend that. Reason being is because there's always more info for you to seek. So if you're just running a play based off what somebody said on YouTube, there's always something missing. And you're not going to be able to go to them to ask them a question because you got it off of a video. Okay. So best piece of advice, find someone to guide you and hold your hand through the process. Because when you do that, your chances of getting to success a lot quicker go up exponentially.
And the good news is you don't got to find nobody, because we found you, right? Talk to them about your three-day experience.
Yeah, man. So we do this, the 3-day experience. Basically, we do this periodically. It's called the Grow Your List Challenge. And we basically, like I said before, man, we hold people's hands through the process of the psychological part of actually getting people to opt into their list, right? We show you how to build a list. We show you the softwares to use. We show you how to not only grow the list, but actually how to monetize that list too. And we have our own strategies that we've kind of developed over the years that honestly, like nobody's doing this. Like,
help you get rich from anywhere.
Like facts, bro. Like, and I'm telling you, like I've looked around for the things that we're teaching, and no one's doing them. So I truly believe that anyone who's interested in building their list and growing their business and having longevity in their business will be blown away by this experience.
Look, we got the link down in the description, but if they wanted to join, where would they go?
Sure. So what y'all are going to do is go to richfromanywhere.com. You'll see a link for our challenge right there. Go ahead and click that link. You can also follow us on social media at Rich From Anywhere, on Instagram, at Rich From Anywhere on Facebook, at Rich From Anywhere on TikTok, at Rich From Anywhere on YouTube. Rich From Anywhere everywhere. Just search Rich From Anywhere and you'll see
Rich From Anywhere, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, facts.
100%. So last bit of advice for our entrepreneurs out there who are just starting out, maybe our side hustlers, maybe the people who, still got a full-time job and they ready to kind of get running. They heard you. They're like, I bet, I'm going to start running ads. I'm going to make sure my product or service gives value.
Yes.
What's their first course of action? What should they be doing?
Yeah. What I would suggest is learn from our mistakes, right? when we jumped in, we didn't hire a mentor right away. We didn't seek guidance.
Yeah.
We just jumped right in, and that was a costly mistake. We spent about $5,000. So the first thing I would say, if you're just getting started, if you don't have anything set up yet, seek the guidance so you don't have to go through the heartache and the pain of losing $5K. You know
And that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, we've had people that have come to us that wasted $30,000 in ads.
Yeah.
Without results, just because they're doing things the wrong way. Right. So I would agree, man. I mean, just find yourself a really good mentor that you trust, that has the receipts to back up what they're saying, and just follow their guidance, because like I said, success leaves clues. And as long as you can just like pick up like the pieces, you can do it as well, you know. And I look at mentorship like it. I think mentorship is the most amazing thing ever. I look at mentorship like a time machine,
100%.
right? Like I'm about to jump into this time machine. So like the 10, 15, 20 million dollars in ads you spent figuring stuff out, just teach me that stuff in a couple hours so I don't have to spend that much money. And the 10 years you banged your head against the laptop figuring out all these things, just teach me that in a couple hours so I don't have to spend 10 years.
Shortcut in the process.
So if you're looking for the ultimate success hack, it's this. It's find people who are more successful and smarter than you. And when you find those people, you pay them whatever they ask. And then you do whatever they say.
Facts.
That's it.
There you have it, y'all. And I'm telling you, I can vouch for it. Like, that is the formula. I went through years of ups and downs as an entrepreneur trying to figure things out myself. The moment I started to invest in myself was the moment I started to see exponential growth, and it cut the time. In fact, I felt like I was, like you said, it was like a time machine, like a quantum leap. Like I went from here, and I was like, phew, like it happened so fast that I'm like, and to be honest, like sometimes I think I'd be like, yo, last year I was celebrating doing 6 figures in a month. And then going from that to a space where, you know, you make it in a day and then you make 7, like that is, like at one point that thought was crazy to me until I got around other people, until I got around people who are teaching me how to do that. And so really anything that we want, any thought process we have, any goal that we want to accomplish, all you got to do is borrow the confidence of the person who already has it. That's a fact. Because they do it so effortlessly that they could show you the way. And all you got to do, like you said, pay them what they charge, do whatever they say.
Facts, man. That's it. And this works for any, like you said, anything. We're talking about business because that's what we're talking about. But it also goes for relationships, right? Like if you want to be in a better relationship, get around other couples that have great relationships, and it will increase that. If you want to be more healthy, get around people who are healthier. Like it just works all across the board.
When you're around success and high vibrations, you have no choice but to match that vibration. You know, so it's very imperative that you get around an inner circle of people that you want to be like. If you wouldn't trade lives with them, you probably shouldn't rock with them.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that should be your rule, like going through and finding people that you rock with. Find people that you would trade lives with.
If you wouldn't trade your life with them, then don't take advice from them.
Bars. Look, they still musicians. You know what I'm saying? Got the bars.
Let's go.
Steven. Yo, what's the irony in that?
It's crazy, right?
Like, what's the irony?
I don't know how that happened.
Y'all having the same name.
There's really no irony, other than the fact that we started out like in college kids, independent music artists. We ended up linking up. We found some like-minded connections. And started rocking out. Had the chemistry there, and then we were like, "Yo, what's your name?" "Oh, my name's Steven. What's your name?"
Thought he was joking.
I was like, "Yo, Steven with a PH?" He was like, "Yeah, Steven with a PH."
And it's spelled the same too.
It's spelled the same. It's crazy. Man.
Look, Steven is Steven. Rich from anywhere. Find that everywhere.
Yes,
Facts.
sir.
Yo, again, just I mean, if y'all last words for the folks,
man. You got this. You know what I mean? Like that's it. You know, like we came from we came from the mud. Like that's the way I say it. We came from the mud and we pulled ourselves up by these things that we're showing you today, right? So the biggest thing is I would say is like everything that you learned today, hopefully this inspired you, but don't let it just inspire you. I want you to actually take action on this stuff because there's never the perfect time, right? There's never a perfect time that like you got to do it now, you know? And we always say, you know, imperfect action always beats perfect procrastination, right? So just get it, how you got it right now. Start doing and just start breaking stuff and fixing stuff as you go.
Yep.
That's it. All right, take action now. No opportunity wasted. We are closing out the vault. Another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. Make sure you follow us everywhere at Inside the Vault. Matter of fact, go to our website, InsideTheVaultShow.com. I am Ash Cash. Make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Follow me on all social media platforms at I am Ash Cash. And make sure you join us inside of the abundance community. We got Steven giving you gems that we ain't talk about on the show.
Yeah.
Some behind the scenes footage. Make sure you become a member. Go to abundancecommunity.org. The greatest financial spirituality community on the planet. I'll see y'all next time, same place, in God's will. All right, y'all. Peace.